One of the very interesting site is dareboost.com. So I just ran the Cafe Sport site here, and as we can see, it makes about 62 requests. The weight is around 7.7 megabyte, not acceptable. The weight has to be, the page weight has to be low. Most of the data that comes in starts to render around 1.5 second, not acceptable. And the page takes about 7.48 seconds to fully load. Definitely not acceptable. If we look at the summary, we see there are 18 issues, 11 improvements needed. And our score is not good. So if we scroll down, we see we are again using PNG format here. That's definitely not acceptable. We need to use JPG low acceptable quality. Maybe it's 60%. The user doesn't see any difference for a JPG, and then we need to scale these images. So these images are taking way too much of the bandwidth. If somebody's loading this site on a mobile phone, then good luck. Similarly, again, we have another summary here. The images are taking about 92% of the total weight. Not acceptable. We need to look into those. And again, some of these images that are highlighted here, going all the way up to 1.4 megabyte, is killing this website and letting the user run away from it while it loads in the background. So we do have a resource that's unreachable. So we need to figure out what's going on here and take care of this particular one. And then again, we have some images that gets resized when the page loads. So we need to kind of set the size so that they don't have to be resized. And again, there are critical dependencies detected, so we need to see which ones we really need and how can we consolidate. We don't want to have any duplication going on either here. And then if we go down further, again, there's a recommendation to use a newer version of jQuery. So definitely we can look into that and try to do that. And another recommendation is deferring the parsing of JavaScript, because that can definitely start the page rendering way earlier and help improve HTTPS. We'll look into that. That's a recommendation. Every site should be secured. And yeah, and then again, there is an SEO recommendation that we don't have an H1 title in our content. Ideally, we should have H1, H2 all the way to H6, H7 for a better SEO. So we need to look into that. And then further, again, specifying the character set is important, and the content type. And some of the images are missing alt attribute. Not acceptable. We need to make sure we have alt attribute, and also the image names should be meaningful. We can't just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From SEO perspective, that's not acceptable. And again, there are duplicate IDs. That's something that we need to fix as well. And the page is exposed to click jacking type of attacks as well. And here is an option that we need to set on the server side. So we can go ahead and set this into our HTTPD configuration for the Apache. Most of the CSS, we need to see which CSS is not required and clean up our CSS files as well. Again, a bunch of recommendations. So these sites that they are giving these recommendations are definitely helpful to get an idea. Another website is website grader that you can use. Same thing here. A bunch of issues that needs to be resolved. And there are some meta description missing. There is a page title issues going on, so we need to look into those. This is an ongoing thing. We just have to make sure we don't mess up on these issues. Every time we update our site, we need to run these tests again and making sure that we have not created any problems. Some of these graders, they may not run properly, but again, most of them do give a clear idea. So you can easily go ahead, run for a website analyzer, get some things and give your domain information and be able to figure out what's going on. So give it a shot.